Hello friends! In this video, we're exploring the top 10 poorest countries in the world 2024. Despite global wealth, some nations still face extreme poverty. GDP per capita, which measures a country's yearly goods and services production divided by its population, helps rank these countries. However, GDP per capita alone doesn't tell the whole story. That's where purchasing power parity comes in, factoring in local costs and inflation rates for a more accurate comparison of living standards. Stay tuned as we delve into each of the top 10 poorest countries in the world 2024. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Number 10. Madagascar. GDP per capita current international $1,990. Madagascar has lots of natural resources and is the world's fifth biggest island. But it's still one of the poorest countries. Most people here live in extreme poverty, with 75% surviving on less than $1.90 a day. More than 25 million people are below the international poverty line. Poverty hurts kids. UNICEF says half of kids under 5 years old don't get enough food. Because of poverty, kids often have to work hard instead of going to school. Being an island makes things even harder. Rising sea levels and cyclones make it tough. Madagascar often doesn't have enough food because of this. Lots of people in rural areas struggle to survive. Cutting down trees for farming has hurt the environment. Roads are bad, and most aren't paved. Many people don't have clean water or toilets. Fixing these problems is important to make things better. Number 9. Liberia. GDP per capita current international $1,880. Liberia boasts abundant natural resources like gold, rubber, diamonds, timber, and iron ore. However, it remains one of the poorest nations globally. The primary cause of poverty here stems from government conflict and corruption. The country endured a 14-year civil war, claiming over 200,000 lives and leaving a legacy of poverty and violence, including the exploitation of children as soldiers. About 64% of the population lives below the poverty line. Corruption further exacerbates the situation, hindering the effective utilization of natural resources for the people's benefit. This widespread corruption permeates various sectors, with low wages and inadequate training in the public sector serving as breeding grounds for corrupt practices. Insufficient infrastructure, such as poor roads, and limited institutional capacity among farmers' groups compound these challenges. Number 8. Chad. GDP per capita current international $1,860. Chad faces extreme poverty mainly due to its unpredictable climate, which swings from drought to flooding. Picture this. One year, drought parches the land, and the next, heavy rain causes devastating floods. This wreaks havoc on agriculture, making it hard for the country to thrive. Chad also struggles with food insecurity, ranking 73rd on the Global Hunger Index among 78 countries. Additionally, the country's healthcare sector is inadequate, with only 345 doctors serving the entire population. This scarcity is worsened by low literacy rates, standing at just 33% for adults, due to limited education opportunities and infrastructure. Moreover, Chad's heavy reliance on oil has backfired due to the 2014 recession, resulting in the scrapping of many public service projects and exacerbating poverty levels. Number 7. Democratic Republic of the Congo. GDP per capita current international $1,570. DR Congo is located in sub-Saharan Africa and is gifted with outstanding natural resources like significant arable land, hydropower potential, copper, and cobalt. Yet, its citizens have not been helped by this wealth. Instead, the country is listed among the top poorest countries in the world 2024. 4 years ago, about 60 million Congolese, that is 73% of the population, live daily on less than $1.90. Meaning if you meet 6 people here, 1 among them is extremely poor. The country's political instability and history of war have greatly influenced its citizens. As a result, many people are displaced. Even after the end of the war in 2003, the effect has not changed. With this, a lot of Congolese experience poor education, illness, and high rates of malnutrition. Number 6. Somalia. Somalia's GDP per capita is $1,198. Poverty in this country is made worse by things beyond the government's control. Somalia struggles a lot with the changing climate and doesn't have good ways to deal with it. Also, many people in Somalia depend on farming and animals for food. When there isn't enough rain, it's really bad, and more than half the people need help. Hunger is a big problem in Somalia, especially during droughts. Sometimes many people die because there isn't enough food. People in rural areas suffer the most and often walk to the capital city, Mogadishu, for help. Sadly, some kids die on the way, and there are dead bodies on the road. Not having enough food, along with expensive prices, low pay, and no jobs, keeps poverty going. Somalia really needs help from other countries to fix these problems. Number 5. Central African Republic. With a GDP per capita of $1,140, this country possesses abundant natural resources like oil, uranium, diamonds, and gold. However, despite these resources, approximately 71% of its population lives below the international poverty line. Chronic malnutrition affects over 40% of the population, contributing to its status as one of the world's poorest countries. Conflict and violence have led to the displacement of more than 600,000 people seeking refuge abroad. The country's history of conflicts, diverse political ideologies, ethnic diversity, and religious rivalries further exacerbate its challenges. Health concerns are significant, with 882 pregnancy-related deaths per 100,000 live births. Approximately 18 years ago, around 100,000 people were HIV positive, with little reduction since. Malaria, lower respiratory infections, diarrheal diseases, and tuberculosis are prevalent, resulting in a low life expectancy of 53.35 years. Number 4. Burkina Faso. GDP per capita current international dollar of $953. Burkina Faso is a low-income country in sub-Saharan Africa. Around 90% of its poor population resides in rural areas. Despite some economic growth, approximately 40.1% of citizens, particularly those in rural regions, live below the poverty line. Even urban areas face poverty challenges. The country's heavy reliance on agriculture, coupled with unpredictable rainfall patterns, contributes to food insecurity and child malnutrition. Political instability further hampers economic progress, placing Burkina Faso among the top 10 poorest countries globally in 2024. However, stabilizing the political situation and introducing modern farming equipment could potentially alleviate poverty over time. Number 3. Burundi. Burundi's GDP per capita is $937. Burundi holds the unfortunate title of being the poorest country globally in 2024, a distinction it also holds in Africa. With a poverty rate of about 64.9% and the lowest PPP GDP, Burundi faces significant challenges. The reasons behind its dire situation are manifold. Firstly, the country grapples with an unstable political environment marked by multiple civil wars, resulting in loss of life and mass displacement. This turmoil disrupts agriculture, a crucial sector of the economy. Secondly, ineffective governance and mismanagement of resources hinder economic growth. Government subsidies on electricity and fuel further impede progress. Thirdly, land scarcity exacerbates conflicts, as the population outpaces available land for sustenance. Lastly, frequent natural disasters like droughts and floods compound the nation's woes, leading to displacement and food shortages. These factors combine to make Burundi the world's poorest country 2024. Number 2. Niger. Niger has a GDP per capita current international dollar of $696. It's located in Africa, near the Sahara, and ranks among the poorest countries in the world 2024. Over 45% of its population lives below the international poverty line. One significant factor contributing to its poverty is the high birth rate, with women having an average of 7.4 children due to limited access to family planning and misconceptions about its effects. Drought also severely impacts agriculture, leading to food shortages. Additionally, the presence of the militant Islamist group Boko Haram further exacerbates economic hardship in the country. Hundreds of Nigerians sought refuge within Somalia. Number 1. South Sudan. With a GDP per capita current international dollar of $421, South Sudan ranks among the poorest countries globally in 2024. Being landlocked poses challenges for foreign investment and humanitarian aid due to poor road conditions, especially during rainy seasons. Widespread corruption exacerbates poverty, with capital misused for personal gain, leaving many in need. The country has grappled with extreme poverty for about 7 years, with 66% of the population affected. Inadequate healthcare services contribute to high infant mortality rates, as immunization is not prioritized. Illiteracy rates are high, particularly among females, and access to clean water is limited, requiring long treks for many citizens. Sanitation is also lacking, with 80% of the population lacking access to toilets. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching our video here at Travel Uncharted. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with more content like this. Feel free to share your thoughts on the top 10 poorest countries in the world 2024 in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you and engage with our community.